They've made me stupid again. Should probably last 4 weeks, and then they probably take my brain out. That's what they do. Sure, unpleasant. Christians are really unpleasant people, and well, they're in the majority in this country, but basically, I can't do anything about it. Why they're attacking me, I don't know. I suppose somebody in their hierarchy says, well, I'm trying to do it doesn't work. And they believe them, but I know it does. And they know it does too, so they're lying. And they've tokenized me, poisoned me to stop me fighting back. It's very unpleasant. And they stop my money, so it's an appalling society. And the British are the most evil Christians on earth. Christianity is evil, totally evil. It's nothing to do with the truth. So we die, but sure, take my brain out. Yeah. It'll be the end, won't it? They've already done it once. They came to the house, going to interview me, and they gave me an injection. They're clever, and they gave me an injection. And basically, they'll probably come again. They force their way upon you, and basically they're criminals. And they steal money, everything. They do everything that's a crime, everything. And basically, and of course, when you recognise you can't fight back. They say, oh, well, they do it. Disable you. And they know they're doing it. Clever man, that Joe Mensa, the psychopath. Christian psychopath, he attacked me. Well, pretend friend, but he isn't. He pretends he wants to help, he isn't. He just wants to get rid of me. They say this thing doesn't work because the Pope says so. Well, the Pope probably does know, and he does know, but he knows it works. And he doesn't want it because it will wreck the economy. That's why. And it will wreck the economy because it will reduce the use of petrol. And petrol is the basis for other things, and everything runs on it. If we don't want a machine that runs on it, what's no profit in it? And our system will collapse. Well, I don't believe it. Things will be better off. Might as well just go to sleep, I suppose. Most of the time living. And well, the devils, as I say, the Christians are devils, and they're so sure of themselves. They say everything belongs to God. They say God made me, that's me, which is not true. And so everything belongs to God. It's awful. So they say, when you're supposed to give thanks to God because God. It's not true. It really isn't true. I'm just a product of evolution, nobody else. And basically, the Christian, the devil incarnate. And well, I can't do anything about it. But if you're a Muslim or somebody who isn't a Christian, and you kill a Christian, that's good riddance. And bloody good riddance. They're devils incarnate. And well, it really is awful. Obviously, this massacre that's going on in Syria, but I don't know what to do. They could be educated. Christians could be educated, get them young enough, but they fought that off. They did everything possible to stop that education going through. They ignore the education act. The people are ignorant about science, basically. You can't teach them. You start teaching children science, they're technically being atheists. That's it. They poisoned me. And I'm trapped in this house. And if I went somewhere else, it'd be worse off. I let them in. I shouldn't have let them in. Of course, they break down the door if I didn't let them in. But they got in. They attacked me. And they think they go to psychiatrists. In fact, they're Christian warriors, really. But they could kill them. But they should be criminals. I should probably die. They'd probably give me a slow index and a slow acting drug that will kill me slowly. And that's what they do to people. And they murdered a Muslim in the hospital side, the society anaesthetic, and she died. So Christians are absolutely terrible people. Can't be reasonable. They're mad. You can't reason with them. If you go to church, you're getting Christian instruction, that protects you. But if you start with the priest, that attacks you. But the priest is probably doing blatant, but doesn't make it up. They just make it up. That's how bad they are. And if you don't go to church, then you attack. They attack you for not going to church. But I don't know machine gunning Christians, but I understand why they do it. I fully understand it now. Machine gunning Christians are the right thing to do. And beheading them and killing them, tearing them to pieces. But basically, once they reach maturity, you can't educate them. You can't, they're resistant. They have this training, they have a closed database, they can't be reasonable. But if you teach them how they can't be, because children can't be. And they get drugs, they've got drugs now. And brain surgery abuse, habits abuse. And basically, it's absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. And, they jeer at me, you see, they say, you think you're a good son, it's not true. Don't. It's nonsense. It was actually talking about being a godfather for somebody. And they said, well, I didn't say now. I twist your words. It's absolutely awful. A godfather looks after his so. No different in France, because they're all Catholics over there. Any place I might get some respite for this Christian insanity is Russia, and therefore the Eastern Orthodox Church. Just as bad. If people lived here, be protected because they could help me protect me against these murderers who come here, and they won't let them come because they were thrown out. It's absolutely awful, and really, I don't understand why they're attacking me. Because I'm not attacking them. I've not done anything. They're just vipers. Well, so far I had no result because this thing has done nothing to do anything. It's producing a high voltage, but I can't see it on this oscilloscope. And there is a pulse, but it's in the neutron pulse. I think that's sort of pick up. I think it's pick up on the electronics rather than the thing. So, and sad world. It is a sad world. I really despair. And I know what to do. I really don't. I could go into church and start shouting at them, but they'll get really past anything else. They can't be reasoned with. They're mad. They're evil people that are trained. They're trained to be like that, and they go around training other people. And they're quite successful. I mean, they make money at that. Probably more successful than me. And they're nasty. In fact, Joe means he's a killer. He's a killer. That's what it is. A Christian killer. And of course, he murdered Afghan fighters in Afghanistan. He didn't care about me. But, well, they have treatment centers over there where people are forced into Christianity, and they do that by brain surgery, so it destroys their mind, and they can be trained to mouth the words. But basically, it really is awful. They see the wonderful lobotomy, the wonderful operation, and the person goes loving and friendly and so on. And they go to bed with somebody, put somebody in bed, have sex, and therefore they're enough. Well, the person is dead. They don't accept that, but they're dead. And they say we put me in bed with this world person called Maya. I don't know, whoever it is. Maya. It's not the person I eat before, but that's what they say. And they just jeer. They laugh, jeer. And they're not laughing. They think they're going to happen. You know, it's all rubbish. What can you do? What can you do? Well, if I start being successful, they attack me. Oh, it's foul. It really is foul. And well, I understand why ISIS behead Christians, but it's not just Christians that behead it. I suppose they feel the same. What they say is heresy. The Christians feel the same about me, but they're talking nonsense. They'll be with science. And they're wonderful stories. But, I don't know. It's dangerous. It's to go to church and get killed. If you don't go to church, get killed. What do you do? Can't go anywhere else. The whole world is full of lunatics, full of these lunatics. There's no escape. They lock the door for someone coming in, but they break in. Thank God he raked at me before. But I thought I was. No, I didn't realise I was being attacked, but I was. The Psychopath Japanese Society of Drug He's in charge. Where did he get his authority from? Who gave it to him? Another psychiatrist. Psychiatrists are killers. Not helping people. They're just survival. They poison people. They kill people. God can do. We try to take legal action. Well, they got the right answer. I don't know where it comes from. The government doesn't give a damn about us. It's awful. And don't like we contacting government ministers. Because they're affected by it, because they murder people. They're full of bodies. Races they're essentially full of bodies. People who they've killed. And they're absolutely awful people. But, I'm just going to sleep until the drug wears off. They do give me another one. There's no point. They don't leave the country because it's dangerous, but then the people in the other countries are all Christians too, so get nowhere. So I tried to say, the thing I was victimised, and the people I rang up, the people community support rang up victim support, and so they tell me that they go through the same criminals that I'm being attacked by. What can I do? It's the social workers that are attacking me. So I go through them, giving more drugs. So what can I do? Can't escape. And they all believe in it. Even the people I ring up, victim support, believe the lunacy they're taught. Because they were taught it as children, Can't do about it. And I don't know what it is. And they say everybody believes in God. But in a smoke on their face, everybody believes in God. There's no sign of him or it. No sign of it at all. And it's so important to them. They force it down people's throats. The idea of God gives you the concept of immortality, because people aren't immortal. And the universe itself is not immortal. So, and the universe is just a machine. It's not exactly a machine, but it's what it is. It's just going. And no God at all. No sign of him. Where's God? Well, you ask God to do your dirty work. Get God to kill people when he doesn't. You kill people. It's a sad word. They're isolating me now. You see, they haven't isolated me. I could have had friends living here, but they threw it out. They said they were thieves and so on, but not true. I understand that the police did actually want to get rid of me because I was in the way. But that's one of those things. It's absolutely awful. Now they're attacking ISIS with all their force. Well, the point is, there's plenty of Muslims in America. But, I don't think they're particularly interested in attacking the Americans. The reason to it, only antagonize people more. Not a good idea. And you can talk to them, reason with them, but they do. Christians cannot be taught. They're a closed database because of the way they're trained, and it's vicious. They're so sure of what they believe. They're so sure, And this phlebotomy, which has been practiced for 3 years, is atrocious. It's a death sentence, really. You can't do anything because they see certain things happen, and that's what Marcus was like. He was actually quite friendly, but he was an idiot and basically dead. And of course, he may have perfected the operation a bit better, so the person's not quite so deficient. These brain surgeries are appalling. Damaging the brain is a crime. I mean, there's two ways. You can take the view that God made the brain, so there's people to interfere with it, and so God made you put it while trying to kill the video. That's what Jesus said. But it's also a product of evolution, and our idea of the social society is destroyed it. It's no longer valid, but it's not true. And they've been attacking me ever since I was born, practically. When I was a child, I had, they said I was more brain than I should have, so they scooped some out, make me stupid. And I don't know why, they may not understood what I said, I don't really know. But A lot of people have this done to them. It's a crime. It's called a proper breast or something. Other people suffer terribly because they lose something they knew they had, and it's appalling. They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. Well, I say hypertrophied brains. There seems some people with hypertrophied hearts. Well, they actually live long though. People can't have that. Can't have that. Come from small, we can't be. We can big. Some big, but small. It's nonsense. As Jesus says, don't kill Billy, which is what they do. Well, I was once blessed with intelligence, I'm not now. It does so many injuries to my brain that, and what the poisons and the injuries are, I'm not interested in. There's no point trying to pretend. And basically, I like to cut that scum's throat, that Joe Menzer, who comes here to attack me. And he obviously brings his friends around to attack me. They probably think they're professional nurses, but they're just killers. I don't want anything they do. Oh, he hears voices. Well, we don't hear voices. It's nonsense. You go to the hospital, they teach you to hear voices. You get lessons in hearing voices. The result, they all go mad. And it's an awful place. I do not understand them at all. They have a closed idea of what the world is like. You know, certain things don't exist, and they don't. Well, basically, nobody knows what does exist. We know things. We know things in our immediate vicinity that would exist. Plants, animals around us, but one of the main things are, and like other people, I'm not aware of the others. And I do the same things everybody else does. This thing I'm using is more or less doing the same thing other people try and generate high voltage, but it's not working. It's not being successful. So I may scrap it. I think it's too many tones, or I think too high inductance doesn't work. That's really why. So I think I'll scrap it. And, the little one down there was more successful. I might try also that. But I bet I can go out there. You know, so there's a possibility. But you know, they hate me. Why do they say, yeah, I should work for them? They say I should work for one of them. That's what democracy means. It doesn't. I mean, it's a reason. I mean, I'm glad money. I don't really pay me or anything like that. No. When I was working at the college I worked at, they stopped paying me. I don't know. I thought I was working hard, they stopped paying me. Couldn't say that. I'm not sure they didn't actually sack me, they just stopped paying me. I can't say. And, I clever a lot. And they don't again, they stopped paying me. And, I really don't understand it. I get the state pension and whatever the state gives me, but you know, and I really don't. It's poison my brain. They don't like me. And I don't know what they think about Scottish independence, but that might have any difference to them. Those Christians are otherwise. And it will reduce the normal power bastions. And they use this training process called hypnotism. You know? The person becomes aware of all surroundings. And it's only training, but it's much about it. But it's not very nice. And they're laughing at me. They think it's a joke. Clever. You know, when you destroy somebody like my mother, you lose what they have to give. And they don't understand that. They just want money. What I can get. That's what they think. And people, they don't have a brain damage. People think the same way. What can I get? Hunger does that too. You know? Especially someone that to them that's society. What can I get? The more enlightened people think, what can I give? That's the Green Party. And they slashed my face. I had a good-looking face, so slashed me. You know, I didn't think so. I was unaware of it. It's my mother who thought so. So, you know, I should have. The mother should have given thanks to God. I didn't know what God was. You know, child, I'm talking about. And that basically it's so sick what they do. And they laugh. You know, well, why did they? Anyway, and well, I like to see them torn apart because they're so vicious. It's all to do with their philosophy of God, really. And there isn't one. When you die, you die. God doesn't do anything. We're born because we're biological creatures and we struggle to survive, like cats and dogs and cows and all the other things. Those are the things now involved. In other countries, there's other things which I don't know about. You read about them, see them in zoos. But in England, you can't see them. and they exist for themselves. The actual, healthy animal is more likely to be a killer. Healthy fox is a killer fox, and so is a healthy man, a killer. So they drug people to make them stupid and stop being killed by killing other people. Well, that's reasonable if I was trying to kill someone. I'm not. But I hate them now. The psychiatrists ruin lives. That's all they do, ruin people. And of course, they want to do this injury to my brain to make me love you. I think it's Kim that set it up. Kim Brown, the psychopath. He's been attacking me for years. He's finally got through. He's a clever man, but I always knew he's clever, and he was underemployed. But he's just suddenly decided to attack me, and he's jeering at me. He's and and they say I must be deficient because there's life on other planets. And they say, well, God made the planets. They think the planets are lights in the sky. They don't know what they are. And the Planetary Society, people who do know, and they're being jeered at. The whole of America is, well, I know people in America is quite some do believe in the religion, but it's really awful. Really sick people. And they're very powerful, very strong. I really don't know what their religion is. I didn't think they had one. They now, in their constitution, say you can have no religion. But Christians are very powerful. They take legal action. They go at you with hammer and tongs. They don't reason with you. They can't because their database is somewhere else. And it's acquired differently. And they can't be reasoned with. Even if you show, somebody who characterised an alien apparently was murdered. It was actually by Obama to prevent it because Christianity is more important. And Obama is a criminal. He's now attacking innocent, honest Muslims. What they're doing, they're killing each other. But he seems to do with democracy, but really he just hates with Christians. He's a Christian extremist, and I think we should get rid of him and impeach him along with all the other Christians in power. Unfortunately, most of the world runs on Christians. Not all of them are, but. And you don't get people who, in positions of power in the West, are actually not Christians. It's a very bad situation. The ordinary people aren't represented. You get this. The representation of the people actually know it's not true. And they just jeer actually. The people in power are mostly being bad bullies, really. Bullies. And we're small men. And bullies. And they all are. Bullying. You dare to oppose us. Well, maybe. But they follow their dead media. That's what they're doing. And he has some good ideas, and it's quite good. I try to follow his way of life, but basically they're not. And they say I should thank. They're so obsessed with their religion. They say thank God for what He's given me. And most of what's been given me taken away by the Christians. And I thought I was a product of evolution. I didn't think God. I didn't know what. I still don't know what God is. It's nonsense. Absolutely, it's meaningless. They say God made you. Well, if you study embryology, you know that's not true. The embryonic body makes itself, and there's no truth in it. It's easy to say that, This invisible and transparent being, transparent you can't see that. It's making people. It's not. People are made by the evolutionary process that made them and the chemical process that made them. It's just chemistry and physics, that's all. And selection. But unfortunately, they have to know quite a lot about chemistry and physics to see that. Most of them don't. They're quite ignorant people. They will destroy science. Once science goes, everything goes. And if I give up, I won't be here, but they're vicious people. It looks as if they're going to attack me now, destroy my brain. And basically, a court order is done like that. It's done, so it's not done by people in power, it's done by people low down who know me, and it's a gangs of them. You can't attack them yourself because the police come at you. You're a violent man, you've attacked somebody. I've seen people try to attack him, he's too clever for them, so I stay away. He's a violent man. And I don't know who's attacking me, but somebody is. My cousin attacked me, Kim attacks me, everybody. They say I should go to church and get Christian instruction. That's a good idea. But you got to argue with them. Can't say it's all nonsense because they're mentally ill. Actually, it's a mental illness. It's a sickness of the mind, and being dead is another thing. And they'll die too. And because as old men, I'll die first, obviously. And well, they're violent people. I really can't do anything about it. I really, really feel sick. Science is disappearing. Knowledge is disappearing. You know, especially astronomy and things like that. They want to know. But it's not important because we can do without astronomy. And the other things we can do without. But they want to use petrol, and there's also biopetrol and some money in it. But they don't use those things because of money in it. Tesla's engine failed because there was no money in it, nobody would support it. So they couldn't make money out of it. That's all it was. And people have investments in petrol. And of course, if you start producing an engine that doesn't use petrol, then you're for it. And so I'll probably desist from my activities at the moment for the time being and chuck away my engines, which don't work anyway. And they're relatively simple. And as I say, it's not made the same way as the first one I made. I do know how to make the first one. And so I need, yes, I think I do, but it may not, because you need a fuel to start, and I can't do it. It has been done by Kaminazi, what's his name? Kaminazi in another country, and so they leave it to him, and he's become quite good at it. And he's producing them, but he keeps it secret. I won't say anything about it. Kaminazi imitates that line. Well, I didn't know about it when I started, and it was done in the RSRS many years ago. And well, they kept, I don't know whether they used it or not, but they said quite deliberately, the world runs on petrol, we don't want it. And that's all they said. And now they want to produce the same thing, instead of using cheap apparatus that can be constructed by small companies, they want to use a very expensive thing to keep it in the hands of the rich and powerful so they can make money on it, you know, charge for it and so on. So money is the main thing. They said there was a calculation of what you need to produce a new source of power. Well, the first sources of power are actually extremely cheap. I mean, it's about steam engine, but steam engine is quite crude. Petrol engine is still quite crude. And so, well, Tesla's engine was quite crude too, and it worked. And they didn't know how it worked anymore. And they don't want to know. No nukes, they say no nukes. Well, if that's the decision, let's leave it at home. And they go to court and get a court ruling. You can't really do anything about it, you just argue in front of a judge. And I don't have any lawyers, I don't even know about it. And you can't do anything about it. I don't know where they come from. When they talk about the Pope and God, and there's European law about Tesla's engine back in the 1939, that was a lie. They lied to protect the interests of the royal families at the time, because it was money that was involved. And Tesla was murdered, and I could go the same way. The best thing to do is to stick with the skip, you know, that would protect me. But if that's why they're attacking me, they said, okay, how could you give thanks to a non-existent being for being alive? God didn't make me. I'm still alive. It's some reason. I don't know why. It's just apparently these fights to stay alive. All the people riders are survivors. They've all had life-threatening situations. They've all survived. That's what it is. We see the survivors. So, and none of them are saved by God. They might subscribe, but they're saved by God, but it's not God. It's just that we're animals who survive. And eventually we'll die. So their vicious attacking me is just causing misery. Not just to me, but to others as well. A lot of other people are suffering because of Christians. Christians cause suffering. Of course, if you become a Christian, you're better off. But, what can I do? I'm stuck in this house. I'm isolated. I did have people here with children. It was quite nice. But of course, they came and threw them out. Just like that. Quite violently. Instead of protecting me, not protecting me, they're protecting themselves. Really can't do about it. And the law is on their side. you know, they just go around, and they get these nurses who bring around, or so-called nurses, they're psychiatry trained people go around doing things, you know, by themselves, of their free will. And that was allowed, double legislation. And it ruins lives because they make instant decisions and people die. So all these organs of the state are, but they effectively badly. Effectively badly. Christians pray to God, but we suffocate them basically. And they do seem to get something out of praising to God. It's quite effective. The people who have religion tend to live longer than others. My mother did actually believe in Jesus. That's one thing she did believe in. But anyway, she thought the aliens were going to pick her up. You know, they never came. It's only to see them. They may have come and done a brain scan and got over the data. So we don't know what she was doing. If she's asking, say, "Come quickly, I'm dying. Come, we didn't say, come quickly. I'll be out here once more." And she actually believed them. Of course, when she just disappeared, she just faded away. I mean, she's physically there, but so I don't know what happened. And I really feel sick about these Christians. They seem to attack me. Perhaps I'm their next lobotomized victim. You know, you go, if they do it in church, you see the wonderful effect in church. Well, that's what they think. They can't see the person has died. Personality dies. And they usually say they feel all right. You know, see, the person has no brain, they're not aware of it. Just took it out. And they would probably take cups and tea and chocolates as rewards, and they thank them, so look all right. And that's as far as it goes, because the intellectual function is damaged. And people fight, you know, but it's the devil's work, really, devil's work. It was in fact worked out. The operation, these brain surgery was known, at least since 160 BC. It's described in Barney Gallen's book. And that's a described in that thing. And but I think it's one of the popes. It might have been Boniface the first. I don't know what their cataloguing is. One of the Bonifaces. I think he decided to bring about dark ages to destroy all learning. It's all business of the church. And that was done for money. It's all done for money. The priests get an income. They all do it for money. And of course, if Christianity disappeared, the priests would starve and they'd probably be torn to pieces. And they bloody deserve it if that's what happened. And they're nasty enough because their income depends on it. Neville Scott's the same. He's doing things because his income depends on it. And I'm under attack all the time. And it's the Christians who are attacking me. Christians, psychopath, go away.